Hey guys, in this video we are going to evaluate some logarithms without needing a calculator, so we'll see some shortcuts. So we've got log base 17 of 17 to the negative 43rd power. Okay, so when we read a logarithm, we want to try to find out what question it's actually asking. So this is saying what power raises 17 to make 17 to the negative 43rd. If you want to raise 17 to 17 to the negative 43rd, you have to raise that 17 to the negative 43rd. So in essence, what's actually happening here is the log base 17 and the argument of 17 here are canceling to leave you with that power of negative 43. Log base 4 of 64. So the question is, what power raises 4 to make 64? So 4 times 4 is 16, times another 4 is 64, so it's 4 to the third power. That makes 64. How about 4 to what power makes 1 over 64? So let's pretend for a moment that there's not a fraction here, and it's just what power raises 4 to make 64. We already know that's the third power. But if we want to take this whole number base and turn it into a fraction, we simply make it a negative power. 4 to the negative third power makes 1 over 64. And that's because 1 over 4 to the third power is the same as 4 to the negative third power. Okay, so when we change the power's sign, it moves from the numerator to the denominator. So 4 to the negative third is the same as 1 over 4 to the third, and 1 over 4 to the third is 1 over 64. Okay, so this time we have a fractional base and we're trying to raise to a whole number argument. So log base 1/3 of 81 is saying what power raises 1/3 to make 81. Let's pretend again that there's no fraction. So what power raises 3 to make 81? That is the fourth power. 3 to the second power is 9, times another 3 is 27, times another 3 is 81. So 3 to the fourth power is 81. But I do have a fraction here, and I want to switch it to a whole number. That means I have to use a negative power. Log base 16 of 2. Okay, so now I'm trying to make a bigger base into a smaller number. So 16 to what power makes 2? Okay, so really what I'm looking at is what root of 16 makes 2. Or I could think of 2 to what power makes 16? 2 to the fourth power makes 16. That means 16 to the 1/4 power makes 2. Log base 0.1 of 100,000. Okay, so this 0.1 is really the same as a base of 1/10. So what 1/10 to what power makes 100,000? So let's think of it as 10 to what power makes 100,000. And we can just count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 to the fifth power makes 100,000. But I have to turn this fraction into a whole number, which means it needs to be the negative fifth power. Log base 10 of negative 100. So 10 to what power makes negative 100? There is no power that turns a positive base into a negative argument. So when you have a positive base and a negative argument, there is no real solution. And last, we have 5 raised to the log base 5 of 419 power. So it's 5 raised to whatever power raises 5 to 419. Remember, this log right here is saying 5 to what power makes 419. Off the top of my head, I don't know what that power is that raises 5 to make 419. But if I raised 5 to that power, I would get 419. So 5 raised to the power that raises 5 to make 419 is 419. So essentially what happens here is when we have 5 raised to log base 5, 5 and log base 5 cancel and leave me with that 419.